In 2022, Logan Paul purchased the most rare Pokemon card in existence for over $5 million. And this card happened to be a PSA graded Illustrator Pikachu. Now, on the flip side, Logan also got scammed for $3.5 million by purchasing what he thought was a big box of unopened first edition Pokemon cards, but I do think he got that money back. Today, we're talking about collectibles, which is a huge global market. I think the estimated value is somewhere around $360 billion globally. And it's not just cards, right? It's sports memorabilia, watches, anything can become a collectible if enough time passes. This right here is a 24-year-old pack, which is sealed and graded PSA 10 of Pokemon cards from 1999. It's worth a couple $100, much less obviously than like Logan's crazy purchases. But I purchased this the old-fashioned way. I went to the local trusted collector's store, swiped my credit card, and got this in return. But like 25 years ago, this was the only way to purchase collectibles, physically, in person. And then the internet came, right? And marketplaces started popping up like eBay, which I'm sure you all know. And this probably 10x'd the reach and demand, if not 100x'd the reach and demand for the collector's market, simply by removing a bunch of friction from the buying and selling process. As with any new tech though, obviously people were like weary to put their credit card information online, but that fear quickly faded away because 6 years after eBay was founded, a baseball bat from Joe Jackson sold on the website for over $500,000. And just like that, online collectibles became a big deal. Instead of going to meetups or auctions in person, right, you could purchase stuff online and have it show up to your doorstep. This was huge because it removed so much friction. And less friction means more activity, which means more interest, more demand, and more growth. And most people might think like, okay, it doesn't get any better, right? There's nothing that can be improved, but oh, trust me, there's a lot. So first of all, the problems are not all countries are supported on these individual marketplaces, right? And then we have the responsibility of authenticating these collectibles yourself. As we saw, that's a problem, like Logan Paul will tell you, when he got scammed for like millions of dollars. And then we have physical storage, which is a problem with bigger items and things such as gold. Oh, and how come we can own pieces of these huge companies on the stock market, but we haven't popularized owning fractions of art, collectibles, or anything at all? Luckily, these final points of friction are basically removed or soon will be. There's a saying in the Web3 world, whatever can be tokenized will. Turning real world assets into digital tokens is the only logical next step that makes sense, at least for me. Humans do not like friction. I mean, think about it. Spotify convinced everyone to give up free and obviously illegal music downloads in exchange for a paid monthly service. Why? Because it was faster, easier, and saved us a bunch of time. Tokenizing assets also removes this friction, right? It's kind of like putting them on an air hockey table. You could literally slide the ownership of a house or a Rolex watch across the world in just seconds. And this is already happening, by the way. For example, I earn rental income daily on this tokenized rental marketplace, but for this video, let's stick to collectibles. So here's how it works. First, we have a trusted entity or platform that creates a vaulted marketplace. Collectors can then send in their collectibles and they get authenticated and stored in secured and insured vaults. When vaulted, a unique digital token is then minted and sent to this collector's wallet. This digital token now can be redeemed for the underlying physical item at any time, which if redeemed will be shipped securely with an armored Brinks truck to that person. But the best part is the collector can sell or trade this redeemable token to anyone in the world with a Web3 wallet instantly. So this token can exchange hands 1,000 times digitally, while the physical item it represents sits securely inside of an insured vault. And at any given time, the current token holder can decide to redeem it and have the physical item shipped securely to any location in the world. You're probably thinking, well, people like to touch, feel, and display their collectibles like at home. Well, sure, you can still do that. But like me personally, I have maybe for the first or second time touched or taken this out since I purchased it. So I wouldn't mind vaulting this and having a digital receipt that represents it. The cool part is I can still display this. In fact, I can display it in a much better form. For example, Instagram just launched NFT sections on people's profiles. So I can connect my wallet to Instagram and show off that I have this expensive Charizard right to my followers on my profile page. I think this is probably much cooler than just putting this up on the wall at my house. And if I do ever want to sell this, I don't need to be sandboxed into one marketplace like eBay because anybody can plug in their wallet into any NFT exchange in the world and purchase this from me instantly. And of course, they won't need to do any authentication because the blockchain verifies that this third party has already authenticated it and stored it, right? And you can see all the transactions of this physical item on the blockchain database. So the remaining friction for collectors basically just got eliminated. Here's another use case. Tokenization, I think, starts to make more sense and hit more people when we look at gold. I mean, does anybody really want to keep a couple gold bars in their closet or living room somewhere? Of course not, right? A digital redeemable token or receipt makes much more sense. Paxos has proven there is product market fit for this. They launched the PaxG token in 2019, which is 100% redeemable for LBMA accredited gold bullion bars or the current USD market price for gold, whatever it is at the time. Each PaxG token is backed by a troy ounce of gold, which is stored in Brink's vaults and custodied by the Paxos Trust Company. This PaxG token already has a market cap of $500 million. So that's tens of thousands of people who are storing their gold in token form on the Ethereum blockchain. Real world assets on the blockchain are not just a pipe dream anymore. It's actually happening and it's pretty cool. So let me show you now some first movers and really cool platforms in this vaulted real world asset space. First, we have Courtyard.io, which vaults collectibles like watches, coins, sneakers, I mean, you name it. Just a few days ago, actually, a $600 Charizard was sent to their vault by this person on the screen right here. I did see them tweet about it. And as the chain history shows us here, 2 weeks later, it was purchased for $600 or so. A digital receipt token was purchased. No physical card exchanged hands. Pretty cool. Next, we have the Tangible platform, which is the same idea, vault, token, market, right? They're also fairly new and currently have over $2 million of vaulted items in their custody. Everything from Rolex watches to pristine wine bottles to gold bars and even a 2-bedroom rental, which you can own fractions of and earn a piece of the rental income. Little side note, this is actually another great unlock because fractional ownership just makes collectibles way more accessible and more fun. I mean, I don't have $250,000 to spend on a Pokemon card, but owning a small piece of it would be pretty cool. And of course, there's more, right? It gets even crazier and I'm gonna show you how and why right here, right now. So if you've ever been to a pawn shop, you know how it works, right? You bring in something of value and they'll give you a loan against it and they'll hold that thing until you pay back the loan. And if you don't pay it back, they get to keep it, of course. Now think of peer-to-peer loans where people can borrow money from anyone in the world against their collectibles. This already exists, by the way, and I actually have a cool story from my personal experience with NFT lending from an older video, so I'm gonna give you a quick summary here. Before I get into how much money I made in this transaction, let me kind of explain how lending works, at least on the NFTFi platform. There are two sides here, right? Lender and borrower. All this website does is connect the two. Borrowers have NFTs that they are willing to put up as collateral and request loans against. Lenders compete to make offers to these borrowers, hoping they agree to their terms. Essentially, this is a peer-to-peer loan marketplace where as a lender, you kind of browse through all the NFTs you wish to make offers on and see if their owners will agree, and then you start a loan. Both parties have to agree to some terms, right? And those three variables are right here. Number one is the loan amount. Number two is the loan duration. And number three is how much you're going to charge them for that loan, the APR. In my loan, we agreed to $5,000, right? And a 14-day period to pay back the loan. Also, I offered a 51% annualized fee that I would charge them for this 2-week period. So $5,000 with a 51% annual fee broken down into our 14-day loan period meant that the borrower would have to pay me back $5,000 plus an extra $103 in interest. Luckily, this person accepted my offer and all my terms, and they actually paid back the loan a couple days early and still paid me in full, even with the interest. So I got to pocket an extra $103. So not only have we unlocked this global digital efficient marketplace, but we've also unlocked a global peer-to-peer pawn shop where people can lend and borrow from each other against their collectibles and just make them more liquid and efficient. It's brilliant because smart contracts don't require human input and follow the rules they are given to a T, meaning they'll hold the asset and decide by the rules who gets to keep it after the transaction terms have expired. Personally, I am super excited for real world assets to come onto the blockchain. It is a category you need to keep your eyes on because there's going to be a crazy influx of opportunities and you need to be present to take advantage. All right, guys, if you watch the full video, I'm going to be giving this away. No, I'm just kidding. But if you did learn something new, please make sure to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one.